Your question about the past and can you change the past? How can we change the past in the present? It is a useful question, and it's also useful to stop and think about this in a bigger context, because we just normally assume a certain view about the past, the present, and the future, and we fail to see that this is how the mind views it. And the reason why this question about time, past, present, and future, the reason why this has captivated and confused the human mind for millennia is because there are different dimensions of time and space. And the body and the mind do exist in a certain time and space from their perspective. But awareness, consciousness, this pure being behind awareness does not exist in that dimension. It exists in another dimension beyond what the mind conceives of as time and space. For example, the human mind views time as a line, and the present moment is essentially a point on that line, and it's moving, constantly moving, slowly moving from the past, what we call the past, to the future, what we call the future. It's moving away from the one toward the other, from the other into the other, and it's this small point. From this point of view, again, as far as how the mind conceives it, the past, the present, and the future are separate things, with the present always in the middle and always a small point. But in reality, when I say reality, I mean from the perspective of higher consciousness, awareness, pure being. From that perspective, all of them are connected and all of them are one. And the present moment is what is called the eternal now, meaning it's not a point. It's everything. It includes everything. The eternal now includes everything. In the sense that the past, the present, and the future are connected and are all one, what it means is that everything is always unfolding. It's always an unfolding of reality in the eternal now. And this eternal now, what that means, the eternal now, it's always the same moment. Sometimes you can realize this. You can realize a moment when you were more present, more conscious, perhaps even without knowing it, which in itself is very interesting. You see, when we are present, we want to also recognize that we're present and know it. But many times, for many people, there can be these moments of conscious presence, conscious awareness, and awareness itself does not recognize what's happening, does not recognize itself as being the presence. And it all gets interpreted by the mind and covered over really by the mind. But in fact, everything is always unfolding in the same moment, as the same moment. It's like the same flower is always unfolding. It's always blooming in slightly different form now. It's hard for the mind to grasp this. And what this means is that, and you asked about changing the past. From one point of view, we can't change the past. From one point of view, the past is inescapable. Just as in the same way, the future is unavoidable. And in exactly the same way, the present, what we call the present, is inevitable. Even if you can't mentally see that they are all one, even if you break them into pieces, into a past, a present, and a future, you can still keep in mind, try to bear in mind that together they all serve as a cradle for the nourishment and the care, and most importantly, for the self-realization of conscious awareness, of conscious being, which is infinite presence.